What is going on with this?
Oh,
I'm
okay. I'm
I'm
here.
so confused.
Are you here?
Hello. Hello everyone.
We are here together.
I guess hello fellow gastronomes and welcome to Dirty Belly, where we take you on a journey as your food goes from dirt to your belly. I'm your host, a dad who loves to eat and grow, Jeff Sims. I'm here today with our resident culinarian, Mr. Matthew Gaddis,
Hello, that's me.
and
Thank you very much. Wonderful to be here. Wonderful to be here. Uh, they forgot to end the intro loop, so yeah, we were stuck in purgatory there for a minute.
yeah, I was really confused as to where I was and what was happening, but that's nothing new for me. It's pretty standard fare.
I love it.
How you been, Matt? How was your week?
Been very good. Just been working. Starting my weekend today. Had a wonderful afternoon. Yeah, honestly, pretty vanilla week. Not a lot to say. I know this isn't great content, but yeah, a pretty easy week.
That's good. I watched Elemental today, the
Oh,
new
nice.
Disney Pixar movie. I really loved it. It was really good.
I love
Uh,
that.
but that's not really what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about tacos this week. Who doesn't love tacos? This is Taco Wednesday. We're a day late, dollar short, just like we normally are, I guess. Uh, but before we talk about tacos, tell me what's the best thing you ate this week, Matt?
I'm gonna have to shout out what Sledge It is calling out in the chat. We went to Jack Brown's because here in Nashville, the Nashville scene sponsors a burger week where a bunch of different restaurants do a burger for $7, and so we decided to go to Jack Brown's today and had the crab rangoon burger, which is not quite as good as I was hoping for it to be. It was pretty silly, but still tasty. It was a crab rangoon cream cheese filling and sweet and sour sauce and wonton strips on a wagyu burger. So it was solid. It was absolutely it was delicious. It just didn't get me there. They're not going to get the top vote for me.
Well, bravo to you for being adventurous, at least. That's probably not
Absolutely.
what I would have ordered. I probably would have gone classic American, just some cheese, lettuce, tomato. Um, crab rangoon burger.
It was wild. It was off the chain, but it was pretty tasty.
Well, the best thing I had this week was actually tacos. I
Love
got
that.
some fresh corn from the farmer's market and some peppers that I grew from my garden, roasted those with some sweet potatoes, and kind of turned that into a taco. It was a vegetarian taco, served with sour cream and a pickled radish and shallot
Nice.
and some queso fresco. It was actually really good.
Yeah.
I was skeptical at first of tacos without meat when I started putting it together. I'm always skeptical of anything without meat. I struggle with the vegetarian diet, but it's something I've been striving to do more of. And this one was actually a success. I thought it was really well. The pickled radish and shallot really set it off, I thought.
Yeah, I love the accompaniment game in a authentic taco shop. Like the pickled radish, the carrot, the pickled jalapeno. Like even if you go to the right place, if you get one single taco, you're gonna get enough condiments and pickled things for like six tacos. It's fantastic, especially the radish. Radish highly underrated.
I love pickles. Anything pickled, really. Takes normal vegetables and makes them even more crunchy and delicious a lot of the time. So let's start with the definition, because I think this might be the hardest part of the episode.
Yeah.
What is a taco?
The obvious answer is a corn or flour tortilla with could be traditional, could be non-traditional ingredients inside that envelope. Uh, there's a lot of fun happening on the internet and on social media about what because the whole thing that like everything's either a taco, sushi, burrito, or a salad, or that whole thing. It's insane. But yeah, I think tortilla is key. Um, I have some time for lettuce wraps, and I have some time for alternative tortillas, but it need you need either a tortilla, corn, or flour, or something that is going to exactly act the way that does. And then from there, it's kind of open ended, I think.
Yeah, Alice in Wonderland, I think is right. Once since corn tortillas are cornbread, she says, doesn't that make a taco a sandwich? It's a slippery slope, okay? Because
It does not. It does
once you
not, because
start,
a sandwich is open on all sides. Yes, a hot dog is a taco. A taco is not a sandwich. There's a lot of algebra here.
I feel like this is something you have to be really strict on with the taco thing. I'm pretty loose with my cornbread definition. I'm very strict with my taco definition because if you're not strict with your taco definition, you'll soon find that most things are tacos.
True, true.
Because to me, it is the corn or flour tortilla which is the key, right? You have to have that with some sort of filling in it, and it has to be folded over to be eaten to make it a taco.
Yes, yes.
And that's it. Simple definition. A lot of people do more stuff. We'll get into the hot dog as a taco thing, I guess. That's bread. Okay. Now, if you put hot dog on a corn tortilla, you've got a hot dog taco.
There you go. Okay, okay. I see you. I see where you're going here.
I just, if we're not, I feel like taco is one of those things. If we're not strict on the definition, eventually everything's going to be a taco. And then, how can I say I love tacos? Because I don't, I don't know what we're talking
Everything
about
can't be
anymore.
tacos.
Yeah. Is my bologna sandwich a taco? I don't know.
If you
If
fold
I
it in
take my
half, it
piece of
probably is.
pizza and I fold it in half, is it a taco? I don't think it is.
I
I think
had
it's a
that
piece of pizza.
exact conversation with Sledge earlier today, and I decided no, because a pizza is its own thing. If you fold a piece of pizza in half, it's still just pizza. Now, if you were to fold a piece of pizza in half and then put more ingredients inside that fold, then you could be looking at a pizza taco.
Yeah, I mean, if let's say you take a flour tortilla and put pepperoni and cheese and tomato sauce in it, that's a pizza taco. All right, but folding your piece of pizza in half does not make a taco.
I think if I take a piece of bologna and I put a slice of American cheese and a pickle inside of it, that could also be a taco.
A tostada is not a taco, even though it's very close, right?
Yeah, no, tostada is not a taco. No, no,
Because
no,
you
no.
don't fold it over. It's not folded over. To me, a
And
taco
damn
is a
damn it
lot.
in the chat. No, we don't talk about the papadilla. This is not a papadilla household.
It's a lot like the hamburger, in that it's a meal of convenience that seems to have been created out of a desire to be able to carry your meal with you as you go, right? And
Absolutely.
I can eat it wherever, right? I can just pick it up with my hands, get a nice hunk of meat contained in some sort of non-greasy holding bread type substance.
Yeah, it's a handheld. It's convenience. Yeah. It's filling, like you said. You've got you've got carbs, you've got protein, you've probably got some pickled vegetables in there as well. It's a beautiful vehicle of a meal, and especially transportation wise, walkability. It's perfect.
Yeah. What subgenre or what greater genre does tacos fall under? Is it in the sandwich category? Is it in the wrap category? What is it?
I'm not sure where we're going there, but I've got to assume if a panini is considered a sandwich, then a taco is also considered a sandwich.
A sandwich.
If we're putting tacos for some reason under the sandwich umbrella, then yeah.
I don't know. These questions are bigger than me. I'm just asking questions here. That's all I'm doing.
Be sure to read the disclaimers in the chat, everyone.
Yeah, a sandwich is not a sandwich is not a taco. A taco may in fact be a sandwich. Okay. This is where we're at. This is life, people. Have you ever made your own tortillas?
I have not. That is one thing that has escaped me. I have not.
Would that be something you're interested in doing, or does it seem like too much work, or you don't want to buy the tools?
Oh no, absolutely. All it really takes is a press.
Yeah.
and you're good to go. And you can get a decent press if you're lucky enough to be in an area that has some Latin American grocery stores or something like that. You can get a decent press for $15-$20, and yeah, I guess it's just sheer laziness why I haven't done it so far.
Store-bought flour tortillas seem decent, I guess. The store-bought corn tortillas, I always feel like you could do better.
Yeah.
They're always dried out, aren't they?
Yeah, I agree. One thing you can do at home if you're super into corn tortillas and you're worried about the freshness, very simple thing. Take your tortillas, spread them out a little bit in a baking dish, and just dampen some paper towels, put them on top, and just let them chill at room temperature. Give them an hour or so, and you'll get a lot of moisture back into those tortillas, so they'll be a little bit more malleable, and the store-bought product will produce a little bit better result than you might be worried about.
Oh, that's a great tip. Uh, Alice in Wonderland asks, "What about taco salads?" That's a salad. Okay,
That's a salad.
it's in the name. I didn't make that up. Okay,
Yeah,
it's in the name.
you could have a cheeseburger salad. Like, who cares? Like, no,
It's
that's not
not
a
it's
taco.
not a sandwich then. It's a
No,
salad.
no.
Taco salad. That sounds good though. I like a taco salad. One of the things that always kills me about the taco salad though is working in the industry. One thing I've noticed is that people never actually eat the shell. You make this big, beautiful taco shell to put your taco salad in, and nobody ever eats it. So it's like, why not just put it on the plate? But if you
Those,
don't have the shell, it's no longer taco salad, is it?
no, those people are terrorists. You're supposed to. You should break it off the whole time. That's the best part. It's fried dough around a salad. Like, you get the clout of ordering a salad, but then you get a giant fried tortilla around it. That's the best part.
I don't want to name names, but I used to cook for people that would demand that they have the taco bowls and then not eat them. It's a decoration thing, right? I guess it's all about aesthetics. Aesthetics. You want the smell of the hot oil without actually getting the fat in your body, because those fried taco shells, man, they soak up some stuff, wouldn't you say?
Oh yeah, yeah.
I
They
mean,
can get soggy. They can get problematic for sure.
they got
Very
to be
quickly.
pretty high calorie, I'd say. And I don't want to see what your arteries look like after you've eaten 1,000 of those.
Okay, I know they're not listening, so Alice in Wonderland, I'll just go ahead and let you know I'm not here for rose pepper in any way. So you can get right out of here with that. The
Is a
best
Choco taco a taco?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Choco taco is absolutely a taco.
But isn't it more like a waffle cone kind of thing that has around it than a tortilla?
It is. And I am going to take that opportunity to segue a little bit into the difference between a culture that I'm just starting to get familiar with. Authentic tacos, like street tacos, stuff you get from a truck, the stuff that I get from the back of a grocery store, versus the flour tortilla Tex-Mex style where wacky fillings are completely acceptable. What comes to mind specifically is a taco I've been enjoying lately from Velvet Taco in East Nashville. It's a chicken and waffle taco. The tortilla itself is a waffle, and it's filled with fried chicken, gravy, maple syrup, green onions, and it's just the most fantastic thing in the world. I'm wondering where you stand on silliness versus authenticity.
I'm a very authentic person when it comes to tacos, but I'm willing to make a case by case exception. If I look at it and I can see that it is intended to be a taco, I can work with it. I don't know. I have to see it to really have a feel for it. The Choco Taco I will let slide, but specifically because taco's in the name. And it doesn't, it's an ice cream taco. I'll let it go.
As a
The
taco presenting individual.
the chicken and waffle taco, if it's served at a taco place, I'm probably gonna let it slide.
It is. It's all tacos. It's all taco, baby.
That's what they say, but really, it's not, though, is it? I mean, you're making waffles back there, so
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's a whole culture of like taco eating that I was pretty unfamiliar with. It's born out of more southwestern culture, Texas, Arizona, where they have these amazing people that know how to make incredible flour tortillas, but there's enough of us gringos around to try weird stuff. So there's places like what comes to mind is Tyson's Tacos down in Austin. Velvet Taco is also from Texas, but they're willing to sacrifice their authenticity to just be a slave to the people and enjoy having fun with it. You can put tikka masala in a taco. You can do a chicken and waffle taco. You can have coconut shrimp. Doesn't matter. It's just a fun taco party time.
I would love a tikka masala taco. That sounds fantastic. I was gonna ask, do
Pink
tacos
taco,
need
tortillas,
meat?
yeah.
But
Oh yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna ask, do tacos need meat? But I think I already know your answer. The answer is gonna be no. Right?
Absolutely not.
Yeah. I think like the first tacos obviously had meat, but I think nowadays things are pretty. We like to have fun. We like to try different stuff. I tried some vegetarian tacos. I thought it was pretty cool. I liked
Oh,
it.
absolutely.
It was easier to make and less cleanup than normal tacos because I roasted it all. I roasted it all together on one pan, and there, like since there's no meat, there's really no grease, right? So the cleanup was super easy, which is what was always one of my favorite things as a cook when you don't have to clean up a lot of stuff after you get done. Some recipes you make at home and it's like it looks like a bomb went off in your kitchen when you're done, and you're like, this was good, but was it worth it? I don't know. I mean, I've got 2 hours worth of dishes here. This is wild.
What was your veggie taco? What was your filling on that one?
It was fresh sweet corn, sweet potatoes. It was supposed to come with cilantro. Oh man, it was supposed to come. What's the smoky pepper?
Chipotle?
No, no, chipotle is a smoked jalapeno.
Well, that's a smoky pepper.
Poblano peppers.
Oh yeah, okay.
Roasted poblano, but I'm growing some bell peppers in my garden, so I just use those instead.
Nice.
And you roast that. You roast that with some taco seasoning kind of stuff, coriander, cumin, that kind of thing. Then you toss it with a little bit of cilantro at the end, and put it on your shell and eat it with. It's supposed to come with fresh crema, but I use sour cream instead. And then I got some of that fresh Mexican cheese, the crumbly stuff. Put that over the top, and the pickled radish and shallot, which I did a quick pickle, which was just lime juice, sugar, and salt, and came out great. I loved it. The lime juice, especially, I think was a nice touch in the recipe. As for the pickle, because normally for a pickle you see a lot of vinegar used, but the lime juice has the acidity, but it really goes well with the taco concept,
Yeah, don't be afraid of citrus and pickles. Like that's a huge thing for me. My favorite pickling recipe, and this is just for a quick pickle. I gotta pickle something, could be anything. Black pepper, whole black peppercorns, bay leaves, mirin, red wine vinegar, lime juice, and a splash of water, and it's that'll get you there every time. Nice.
Yes, pickles and tacos. Alice in Wonderland again.
Absolutely.
Yes, pickles and tacos. That's something I've really been big on lately. That I've learned to enjoy. It's such a nice balance for things because tacos are usually so savory that you get that really bright note from the pickle. And a lot of times the pickle, depending on what you're pickling, I pickled radish and shallot, so it added a lot of crispness, a little crunch to the taco that it didn't have. Which you're always looking to add different textures and flavors to anything that you're cooking, and pickles are a great way to add some interesting textures and flavors, and they have a lot of variety to them. Should we talk about the types of tacos? Is this too broad of a subject?
I'm intrigued by the question, but what are you thinking here? What are you thinking of as in types of tacos?
Like, what do you think are the traditional tacos? Like, when you think of traditional taco, what do you think of first of all?
I normally think of a griddled corn tortilla, preferably two for structural safety of the taco. I like if we're talking traditional, I like my number one in a taco, in a traditional taco, is a really good pastor. I also enjoy a carne asada and a carnitas. I love that. And I very, very much believe that onions and cilantro are day one. You have to have them. If you don't have onions and cilantro in your tacos, then why did you even come to play? But then there's all the other fun stuff on the other side. Like one of the places I've been going lately has shredded spicy pickled carrots that they throw in there. But
Oh, see,
sorry,
pickles.
again, pickles.
Yes,
Yeah,
pickles.
I'm
It
getting
goes
a
so
little ahead
well.
of myself, but yeah, I think a griddled tortilla with a traditional meat filling and onions and cilantro. That's my understanding of, like, when you say taco, that's where my brain goes before I put any thought into it.
Yeah, I obviously the taco originates from Mexico. If you're thinking Mexican street tacos, when people say Mexican street tacos, what most people pops into most people's head is going to be the taco al pastor, which is in general going to be a slow cooked pork that has been either thinly sliced. Yeah, a lot of times if you see it in the back of in a Mexican kitchen, it looks like a Greek, like a what is it? The Greek where they put it up on the sticks and spin it. What is that? It's not. I keep
Oh
wanting to say
yeah, no,
falafel. Kebab.
like a gyro sort of
Gyro,
a
yeah, looks like a
situation. Yeah,
gyro
yeah,
kind of preparation, and then
yeah,
they'll slice it off the side of it like
yeah.
that, and then obviously with the onions and the cilantro. Um, there's some other traditional Mexican style tacos that we don't see a lot of here in America. A lot of that is due to our eating preferences and some of the blockages that we have of things that we won't eat here. Tripe tacos are very popular down there.
Oh yeah.
Um, tacos de cabeza, head tacos, which are basically they boil the whole head and kind of put the whole cow head and pull off all the parts and kind of mix it all together and put it in there.
Yup. I
It'll
am
have
all the way here for head cheese tacos. They are
Yeah, it'll
so
have
good.
brains in it, tongue, cheeks,
Yup.
lip, eye. It'll have all that stuff
It's
that nobody in
delicious.
America wants to eat. Um,
Sledge is calling out lengua. I know for a fact that's
lingua.
her favorite taco. It's delicious. It's super. Lengua, for those of you that are uninitiated, is a beef tongue taco, and it has super great beef flavor. It's also very tender, almost off-puttingly tender, but not quite. Like, if you can't handle tripe, then you can absolutely handle lengua. It's kind of the beginner's course of offcuts.
Yeah, beef tongue is like the secret cut, I feel like, because it's just like different enough that most people are going to hear it and they're going to say, "Oh my goodness, that's gross." But it's something you learn when you cook a lot of meat as a chef, that the tastiest cuts of meat are often the ones that are the toughest and take the longest to cook. And they're the toughest because they get used the most. And what's get used most and more than your tongue? There aren't many muscles in the body that do. And the cow tongue works a lot. If you try to grill a cow tongue and eat it just straight up, it's going to be pretty inedible. It's going to be very
Yeah, that's
tough and
terrible.
chewy. But they boil it for a long period of time that breaks it down, and that's what
Yeah.
makes it.
Will calling out here, beef cheeks, absolutely the same as pork jowl. Like that, this like it's gonna sound a little gnarly, but face meat is fantastic.
You have great
We'll
face
throw that
meat
one on a
too.
t-shirt.
Yeah, you have great face meat. That's a nice greeting. Hi, my name is Jeff. You have great face meat.
Great face meat. I
You,
really
you really
appreciate
do.
your face meat.
It carries your flesh well.
If it weren't for your face meat, your eyeballs would just be weird, man. I really appreciate your face meat.
The other, like I guess, traditional street style taco is a flauta, which is kind of the flauta is flirting with not being a taco, right? Because it's like rolled up and deep fried, and it's not like I said, I'm very strict on what's a taco. This is what I'm gonna let slide in, but it's not doesn't really fit my definition. You can see I've got a lot of exceptions here.
I feel you. I feel you.
We
If
may
we're going
have
by
more
the
before
internet
this is
meme,
over.
I think a flauta is actually sushi, but that's just internet ridiculousness. So yes, it's way closer to a taco.
Yeah, I call it a taco because of where it comes from and what it's made of, not necessarily the method in which you hold it and eat it or it's prepared. Speaking of the history of tacos, if we take a very vague description of tacos and we say it's just, you take bread wrapped up and stuff, then we have no idea where tacos came from, right? People were making flatbreads before recorded history. They were putting things in them and eating them like this, I'm sure. We don't know, right? But if we take a very specific definition of tacos, guess what happens? We still don't really know where tacos came from. We know that they came from the general area of Mexico. There just isn't really, after the conquistadors came, and even before that, the societies that were there had collapsed. And then when the conquistadors came, even more of that cultural history was destroyed. So we don't have a lot of that record there. The first written record of a taco comes in the 19th century. I think it was 1891, in kind of a collect-all book that talked about tacos de minero, which are miners' tacos, which kind of goes along with the hamburger thing I was talking about, where it was kind of a way for people who were working in mines to take something nutritious down with them into the mines to eat that was also easy to carry and easy to eat, right?
Yeah.
The cool thing about a taco is, as long as your shell is pretty well done, your corn tortilla isn't too dry or falling apart, you can carry it with you. You could even put it in your pocket, if it was wrapped up well, and you could eat it with your hands. You don't need anything else to eat it. You don't need a plate or anything like that. So
Yeah. I'm reminded, as far as the utilitarian aspect of it goes, I'm reminded of I had Ethiopian food for the first time not too long ago. I think we talked about it briefly a few episodes ago, but just convenience, and that essentially was me making tiny little tacos during my meal, and it was a perfect vehicle. You just tear off a little flatbread, you take that flatbread and pinch your protein or your vegetable or whatever you want in between it, and that's your bite. I think a taco is just a larger version of that, and I find that interesting that different food cultures in different parts of the world would evolve to essentially do the same thing: is use your bread vehicle to grab your protein and go. Like, I know it seems natural to us, but I love the idea that developed in independent cultures at the same time and yielded different results.
Well, clearly it had to be taco eating aliens that brought this to our planet and spread it
More
around.
likely.
Now, it's similar to what you see with pyramid type structures. You see them built across different civilizations that didn't have contact with each other, and as in the same arc of civilization being created. Some people do explain it away through aliens, but it's like, no, when kids are playing with blocks, what's the first thing that they always build? They build the pyramid, right? Because it's the easiest to build structurally. And it's the same thing with the taco or the gyro or whatever. It's just like, it just makes sense, right? The hamburger, the sandwich. It's like,
Absolutely.
meat is greasy, and I don't like the way my hands feel when I just hold this turkey leg, when I take the whole ham and I just shove it in my face, I don't like the way my hands feel after. But if I take this bread and I put it between there,
Yep.
gives me a little textural difference, and I can carry it down the road with me and make all the peasants jealous while I eat this. Yeah. It's simple, guys. This is history, guys.
We're making the peasants jealous. That's the whole point of it.
Yeah, isn't that the point of life? I guess. For some people, it might be. You never know. Where do you think?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I want to hear what you got.
I was going to get a little local specific, and I was wondering, let's call out some names. What are your favorite? What's your favorite taco spot? Like, where's your You need a good taco. Where are you going?
I've got a few local Mexican places here. One of the things that in Middle Tennessee, especially in the south of Nashville area, I feel like we're really blessed with is a very strong Mexican community, which has opened some very great, and not just Mexican, South American in general, community that has opened some really great restaurants around here. And I recently, in the last couple of years, went to see a friend that lives in Phoenix and went to the Grand Canyon. And while I was there, I was like, oh, we got to go somewhere and get some, authentic Mexican food and stuff. And he was like, actually, it's not as good here as it is in Murfreesboro. Y'all have better restaurants there. And I was kind of shocked. I was like, what? And he's like, yeah, I don't know. I just don't like it as much as up there, some of the places up there. But there's a Venezuelan place here that I like to go to for, it's Venezuelan. They serve Venezuelan and Mexican food. They have a great fish taco there. They have a great taco al pastor there. There's another place. It's called Mexiven, right? Mexican Venezuelan. I'll usually just get the special there though, but the people I'm with usually get the tacos and they rave about them. There's a place right up the street from me that has opened up very recently, called Mexico Typico, which I have spoken about before on this podcast, where I went in and I was the only person speaking English in the place. And I was like, this is it. I'm here. It has recently gotten a lot more coverage. I've seen a lot of people talking about it, and that makes me nervous. I thought I had a little secret spot. I mean, I'm happy for them that all the gringos are going to be coming and spending their money, but you know what happens? When we start showing up, we ruin it, right? We gentrify it, right? It's not going to be a little greasy spoon for long, I feel like,
Yeah. What a good sign though. God, I love going into a taco place and there's an immediate language barrier because I know the food's going to be fantastic.
Oh yeah, I like seeing Hispanic people wearing construction gear, and I'm like, this is it, man. These people know what's up. Like, and then I looked at the menu and I was like, oh, they had tacos lingua, they had tacos al pastor, they had burrito tacos. I was like, this is it. I mean, if they're back there cooking cow tongue, this is a real place. Like, this ain't for the gringos because they're just gonna skip that when they come. Actually,
we'll figure it out.
Some will, but most won't. It's just I don't blame them for it. It's a mental block. It's like there's some things that I can't do because it's not because it's like I would have a hard time eating a bug or a scorpion, but it's not because there's there's something really wrong with it. It's like a mental thing I have, where it's like I just can't get myself. Taco Bell is a perfect example of something I have a mental block about. I know Taco Bell is probably good, but I cannot get myself to eat it.
I adore Taco Bell. I absolutely love it.
I don't have a problem with that, but I cannot do it. I just cannot. My wife will go to Taco Bell, and I will sit there with my arms crossed in the passenger seat, like I don't want anything. I'm good. I'll go home and make a peanut butter sandwich.
Where does that come from?
I don't know.
What are you doing there, bud?
I heard. I don't know. I think it's a combination of things, just urban legends that I've heard. I think that disturbed me.
All right. I did want to note in the chat. Will is saying that birria tacos are the hot chicken of tacos. Everybody thinks they can do it. I think that is absolutely true. I've had one good birria taco in Nashville, and it was fantastic. And I've had half a dozen garbage attempts at underseasoned, just terrible birria tacos.
Yeah, it's like the French dip, man. It's the French dip of tacos is what it is. Because it's cheese and beef, slow cooked beef, and you have a sauce you dip it in, right? And nobody can do it right. It's always terrible, right? So it's like,
and it's always the consomme. The consomme is always the problem. Like, all you need to do is deliver flavor with that consomme and you're good. But it almost every time it's underseasoned. It doesn't have any depth. It's soulless. I won't have any part.
It's brown water is what it is.
Yeah. It's brown water.
You're just making my taco extra soggy without adding any flavor.
I can do that myself.
Yeah, I could do that. Let me just stick it in my pocket and let it sweat for an hour,
Yeah, I can make a
like those
soggy
poor
taco.
miners in Mexico. You know, imagine what their tacos were like at the end of the day when they
I'd
got to
rather
eat
not.
them. So,
I do want to shout out my favorite authentic taco place. And Sledge it real good, dropped it in the chat earlier. I've been dancing around it this whole episode, but it's a place called Garden Fresh. There she is again. There we go. It's a place called Garden Fresh out in Madison, and it's a Latina grocery store, and they have a butcher shop and great produce, a lot of really great things. But the star of the show is in the back of the grocery store. There is a full kitchen that not only does tacos, they do tamales, they do barbacoa, they do picadillo, they do just untold amounts of amazing, authentic Mexican food. And I have not had a single thing there that hasn't blown my mind.
yeah,
The it's one of those that you kind of don't want to tell somebody about, because until I found out about it, I had no idea. And once I went in, I was like, why have I not been going here for years?
and now the world knows.
Yeah, well, if you're watching, please say hello to me when you see me there, because you will see me there.
Good tacos can come from surprising places.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
like the middle of Madison, Tennessee.
Like the back of a gas station that you probably wouldn't use the bathroom in. You
Yep.
know, you
Yeah.
might find some good steak tacos there. You never know.
Before Garden Fresh, my favorite tacos I'd ever had was a gas station in a one stoplight town in Virginia called it was called Las Palmas. I know we have a chain called Las Palmas here in Tennessee, but this was just a one off out of a gas station, and that was the best Mexican food I'd ever had. And so, yeah, who knows? Try all the places is the moral of the story for me. It's go for the gas station food, go for the truck food, figure it out. You ever had food poisoning before? You'll be all right. You'll get over it. Keep trying. Keep trying.
Yeah, I mean, as long as you don't get food poisoning, you're gonna be fine. Would you prefer a steak taco or a chicken taco if you had to pick one?
Steak all day.
I don't
I
trust steak tacos.
I find that a pollo is the easiest to go wrong, and it almost always goes wrong for me.
Yeah, I feel that. But the steak taco, I feel like to be done right, the steak needs to be freshly cooked. And whenever I see steak taco somewhere, it rarely is. If that makes sense.
I agree with that. I also do have a pretty good respect for if your steak is thinly cut, like finely cut, and it's grilled and then marinated. I could take that out of a steam well. Like I'm okay as long as there's enough like liquid and juice to keep everything going.
I'm too picky. I want that marinated skirt steak, medium rare off the grill, sliced thin. That's what I want.
I got a spot for you, bro. You gotta come up to Velvet Taco and get their chimichurri steak taco.
I'm
It'll
on my way.
it'll fuck you right up, dude.
And that's the other thing I was gonna say is that there's one topping I want on my steak taco. It's chimichurri. That's it every time. It's just chimichurri and steak, man. They God bless Hispanic culture for bringing that
It's
into our lives.
fantastic. I work at a restaurant that charges up to $350 for a steak, and best believe we have chimichurri on the menu. Like it just goes perfectly. It's all the acid and the spice and the salt. It just cuts right through everything, and really just livens everything up.
Yeah, Alice in Wonderland says I feel like chicken is a gamble when you don't know the place. I agree with that, but I will say that a lot of places where they have great tacos, my favorite taco ends up being the chicken taco. Because when they're really doing it right, I feel like the lightness of the chicken makes the taco less heavy on me when I eat it. That was one of the things I really liked about the veggie taco. It's like, if I sit down when I'm eating tacos, I'm gonna eat 5 tacos.
Yeah.
I mean, it's gonna be a thing. And I'm probably gonna have, in the past I probably would have had two Modelo's with it. These days I'll have one of those big tall boy Mexican Coca-Colas with it.
Oh yeah.
So it's like by the end of the meal, especially if I'm eating a beef taco, it's like I'm gonna have to roll myself to the car, you know. But the chicken taco, I feel lighter after, you know.
I also really appreciate a filling in a taco, which could be chicken, it could be veggie, but especially if we're talking about fresh made tortillas, a filling that doesn't take too much away from the quality of the tortilla. There's a couple places in town. I haven't seen anybody fresh making corn tortillas because that's insane. At least not around here. But there's a couple of places. Redheaded Stranger comes to mind. They make their own flour tortillas in house, and the quality of the tortilla is an absolute like star of the show. You don't think about the tortilla. You think about the tortilla as more of like a vehicle most of the time. But once you have like really really great fresh made tortillas, it changes the whole game. Will's saying he made corn tortillas at Loco. I'm sure he did. I've just never given it a shot.
Yeah, I wonder like how. I wish I knew this answer, but I should have made some corn tortillas. But like, how big is the difference? Is it worth it to go to all the trouble to make them yourself?
I think so. I mean, honestly, I know. Again, Will just called it out in the chat. Always superior. I agree with that. I haven't ever done it for myself at home. I've always, when I've had fresh tortillas, someone else has made them for me. So I am actually kind of excited to go down that road and try it myself.
When I was chefing, what my favorite thing to do when I was making a taco for myself on the line was take the gas stove and just put the tortilla straight on the flame. Have
Oh
you
yeah,
ever done that? It's
absolutely.
I like that way more than the griddle, and that's something I can't really do at home. So, and when I'm at home, I always wrap them in aluminum foil and put them in low on the oven for like 20 minutes. They come up, they kind of steam themselves, which is acceptable, but it's not as good as the fire roasted.
Yeah. You just gotta get. I know that this might not be the best content, but you got a fire pit. Get a fire pit in your house.
I've
That's
been
that's the
wanting
way
to
to
build a
go.
fire pit. That's a good idea.
Because with a fire pit, not only do you get to do open fire stuff like that, like I was just talking with Sledge earlier today, like getting a wok to do wok cooking, and like I don't have gas, but I do have a fire pit, so I can do wok cooking over a fire. Anyway, that's not tacos. I just got excited about
Is
fire.
there anything you wouldn't eat in a taco?
Nails.
Screws, just metal in general,
Yeah,
probably.
just industrial material. No, honestly, no. I think if your recipe is good, if your flavors are good, and all you're doing is throwing it into a tortilla of one type or another, like yeah, hell yeah. No, there's nothing I would just outright say no. Like that. No, that's a crazy way to think. You got to
Well,
try everything. Life is experience. Try everything. Put everything in a tortilla. Put it in your mouth. Worst case scenario, you don't like it. You'll be all
I
right.
would have a hard time eating a cricket taco, but that's my own mental block. There are a lot of people that eat bugs out there, you know.
So
It's
today
tough.
we learned that Jeff has a mental block on Taco Bell and crickets.
Well, can I explain the Taco Bell? Okay. It was really two different things that I heard. One of them was that they use grade C meat and that's what keeps the price low, which I was like,
Okay.
which doesn't even really make sense because that's not how meat is really graded in
Yeah.
America.
Yeah.
And the other one it was that someone was, I don't know if I should say this one. Someone was doing something in the sour cream that would make you not want to eat it. You know what I'm saying?
Ah, yes. Yes. Adding a bit of their own batch.
And that really, I didn't want to eat sour cream for like a year after I heard that, just in general.
Oh, thank you, Will. They use freeze-dried beef, but it comes from Select Cuts, and Select is not the bottom of the barrel. The bottom of the barrel, I believe, is canning and all-purpose, which is used for not only animal food but also things like Spam and Vienna sausages. But
See, I'll
Select,
eat Vienna
yeah,
sausages
it's not
though.
that bad.
I'll eat Vienna sausages though. That's the thing. Like I'll eat smoked bologna like it's going out of style. That's one of my favorite meals. So I don't I don't really know what the deal is. It's just a weird thing I've got, basically.
I feel you. I feel you. I have my own. Yeah, yeah, Will. I was gonna say the same thing. Yeah, I get you, but no, I have my own quirks as well. Like you get a mental block on something, and you just can't get past it. Like I'm the same way.
But I do make my I do like making my own chalupas at home.
Ooh,
Homemade chalupa.
how are you doing that?
Yeah, you take a flour tortilla and you put refried beans on it, and then some cheese, and then you melt the cheese, and then you put a crunchy tortilla, and then you put meat in that, and lettuce, tomato, cheese. That's a chalupa, right? I mean, I don't eat at Taco Bell, but I thought that's what a chalupa was.
I think the chalupa is more of a flatbread, and then it's deep fried. So
So
it's
it's
like
not a taco.
it is still a taco, but
It's not a
it's like a
tortilla. It's not a
it
taco.
it's a fluffier tortilla, and it's deep fried, so it has some like crispy, fluffy texture to it.
Hmm.
No, it's not a gordita crunch, Sledge. No, it's not. A cheesy gordita crunch is different. It has the raw, fluffy shell with a crunchy shell inside, surrounded by cheese. I'm gonna yell about this later. I'm sorry. I'm getting all riled up.
Do you have any more tips for people when they make their tacos? You had that great tortilla tip with the wet paper towel earlier, but do you have
Yeah.
any other tips for people when they're making tacos at home?
I don't really have any tips as far as like your fillings go. That's a whole nother can of worms. You know what type of filling you're trying to fill, filling that you fill, whatever. All I really have is tortilla hacks. One is the rehydrating that we talked about. Another one that is obvious to me, but might not be obvious to the home cook, is heat up your tortillas, either in the oven or on a griddle, whether it's flour or corn. If you're getting frustrated because you're throwing a Super Bowl party and people are loading up their soft taco shells and they keep tearing, it's because they're not hot. Heat will loosen up the connections that are happening inside that piece of bread, and it'll allow it to fold and bend and be a lot easier. That's why you have special tortilla holders. That's why you have climate controlled things. Like, you want them to be warm, or else everything's going to break and it's going to be a disaster. That, and I think don't don't forget about your accompaniments. Don't forget your onions. Don't forget your cilantro. Don't forget your pickled veggies. Whatever you want to do. That the great thing about a taco is making it your own and putting your own little flair and spice and personality into it. And you can just do that on your own. So especially if you're serving other people, make sure you have some fun stuff available, and it's just not just ground beef in a tortilla. Like, throw some effort into it.
My favorite taco accompaniment, and this is just all Mexican food in general. If I'm cooking Mexican food at my house, I've got to go get some of these. Is the whole pickled jalapenos, not the sliced pickled jalapenos. I want them with the little stem on them, where I can hold them up like this and go,
Mm-hmm.
and then you bite into it, and it kind of squirts into your mouth a little bit.
Oh, the ones that are all like wilty and saggy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a nice, to me. There's just some, like, I think they just taste better whole. I don't know what it is, but and it just looks cooler. And you kind of eat it. You take a bite of taco, and you take a bite of the jalapeno, and you take a bite of taco. I like it better. My tip for people making tacos at home: the easiest way to make home tacos is to go buy the Taco Bell home kit and a pound of ground beef. That is probably also the worst way to make home tacos. The easiest way to make great home tacos is to get yourself some flank steak, skirt steak, something like that. You're going to marinate it in olive oil, lime juice, garlic, shallot, and taco seasoning. You can make your own taco seasoning at home. pretty easy. You can just buy the stuff that comes pre-mixed. All that stuff is pretty good.
More cumin. If
Yeah.
you're making your taco seasoning at home, more cumin is the rule. Just
Yeah.
if you think you have enough, put a little bit more in.
And if you're gonna buy a pre-made one at the store, look for a guy with a sombrero on it. That's a good start. You know, don't buy the Taco Bell brand. Buy something.
That's the Jose Olay, I believe.
Buy something that at least presents itself as authentic. Okay. You're gonna marinate your steak. I like to marinate it overnight, but you want it at least 3 hours. Because you want that lime juice and stuff to really work into the meat, help break it down a little bit. You're gonna fire up your grill. You're gonna cook it 15 minutes on each side, probably, maybe a little bit less, depending on the heat of your grill. You do want red still in the center. Medium is a good temperature to shoot for, I think.
Especially for tacos, like all the mid-rare people out there, I respect you, I love you, I am with you. But if we're talking tacos, like I don't need that much red in my steak. Like I think you're right. I think medium is the way to go on that.
Specifically with these cuts of meat too, I think they get a little more tender from medium rare to medium. You're gonna slice them. You're gonna rest them first of all. You're gonna slice them against the grain as thinly as you possibly can. Keep your hot grill still with the crust and don't even wipe it down. Okay, throw your corn tortillas straight onto that grill to heat them up, and take that sliced steak, put it on the corn tortilla, chimichurri on the top. Boom, you're done. That's it. It's easy. Chimichurri is so easy to make. You're going to throw some stuff in the food processor. You're going to blend it. You're done. Okay. I mean, it's just fresh herbs, garlic, a little bit of vinegar, probably some crushed red pepper, and you got a pretty decent chimichurri right there. You can find recipes online, but you don't, once you've made one, you'll be able to just make it up on your own.
Wing it. Ratio, baby.
And I'm telling you what, you're going to have an incredible steak taco right there. And it's just meat, herbs, and tortilla. What more do you need in life? A cold beer, or if you're me, a cold soda.
Yeah, nothing that I'm aware of. I think you covered all the bases.
Yeah, that's it. That's my taco tip: is do it right. It's not hard. Say, I'm not going to tell you to sit there and make a taco al pastor at home or a lingua taco. Or a head taco or something. That's a lot of work. You're gonna end up with 100 plates and stuff, or 100 dishes in your kitchen. Like you're gonna put a lot of work into that. But a nice steak taco is pretty easy to make at home. And if you really want to fancy it up, you can get a nicer cut of meat. You could get a New York strip, and it'd be even better.
Will has a tip for your taco. What's your tip, Will? I'm sure you have a follow up to that, and that wasn't just an inappropriate joke. I'm sure there was some substance to that.
Hopefully, it's a small tip because we're running out of time.
It more than likely is.
Yeah, I think it might be. I've heard that he has small tips.
Brother, we are running short. Couple minutes to go. You got any parting thoughts? My only last question was one question I wanted to get to from my thoughts earlier. Very good one that Sledge came up with. A fish taco. Do you prefer a fried fish or a grilled fish? Because I naturally gravitate to a fried fish unless we're talking like a hard blackened style.
Yeah, y'all are. Everybody's probably gonna crucify me for this one, but I like fried cod.
I'll take that. I'm right there with you.
I will take a blackened fish. If it's a blackened fish, I'm even more picky. I want a nice fish, like I want a grouper or something like that. That it's gonna be very juicy and flaky, But it's fried cod. I just don't think you can beat it. I love fried cod, and you do the right thing with it on a taco, and it really sets it off. I think it's about a really good batter and some really good toppings with it. A nice coleslaw, nice lime cilantro sour cream. Boom.
Sledge out here talking about mahi. Absolutely, mahi is a great taco fish. Nice and firm. It's not going to fall apart.
I like mahi. Not my favorite fish, but I like it.
Mahi,
It's a good
mahi,
it's a
mahi,
good black
mahi,
it's a
mahi,
good
mahi,
blackening
mahi.
fish. My thoughts on taco, my final thoughts on taco is tacos are a good example of like why I love food so much and what I love about food is that tacos are one of those things that like really I feel like bring everybody together, And it's like that's the greatest thing about food to me and why I always loved being a chef was like I loved being the person that was providing people a meal to sit down and commune with their families and their friends and to spend time together and like I felt like I was helping people build their relationships by providing them delicious food to eat, And tacos is one of those great foods that it's like everybody loves tacos, right? It's hard to find people who don't. It's like Ghostbusters. Like who doesn't like Ghostbusters? You may not love Ghostbusters, but you at least like Ghostbusters, right? And it's like I know anybody I meet, pretty much, I can say, "Hey, do you want to grab a taco?" And they're probably gonna say, "Yeah, okay, I like
Absolutely.
tacos. Yeah, I like tacos. Why not?" And or if you say, "I know a great taco place," they'll be like, "I'm interested. We can continue this conversation further." I just love that it brings people together, and I think that's what food and restaurants and everything. I think that's what it's all about. And so I love tacos, and that's it.
Yeah, I love your the ambiguous nature of the history of tacos because that's it's kind of romantic in a way. Like it's something that is so utilitarian and so natural to enjoy and to consume that there's just a commonality between anyone that's ever experienced a taco. It's like, well, of course, we put the thing in the thing and we eat it. And I wholeheartedly agree with that.
I was kind of disappointed when I was doing my research that there wasn't more readily available information on it. It's just kind of I don't know. I think part of it is the area of the world that it comes from. A lot of the history has disappeared, and
Sure, sure.
um, which I think is sad. Obviously there's a lot of different reasons for that, but um, I
I like
I
the
just
mystery
enjoy
of
the
it.
history, and I
I
always want to
like
know
the
more.
open-ended nature.
Yeah, I always want to know more. There's more after the silver miners, the Mexican miners. But a lot of it has to do with Taco Bell, so I skipped it.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I said, "No, you know what? I'm not. This isn't the history of Taco Bell. This is the history of tacos." Okay, so I'm good. No, it's Thank you for joining us. I wish we could all share a taco together. It's the food comes from the dirt. It comes from Earth. Provides us with life. Provides us with something to share together. And I think that's the important thing to do while you're eating is to find somebody to eat with. I eat alone a lot, but I think it's better to eat with people because the communion you have with people is so important. So thank you to all you hungry homies for joining us today on our journey of learning more about the food we eat and the people that we love.
Thanks.
Tacos, burritos, coming out of my Speedos.